How to adjust digital vacuum switches. Many of the new Powr-Grip lifters use digital vacuum switches. This kind of vacuum switch rarely needs to be adjusted. However, if adjustment or verification of the settings is needed, follow this process. The lifter's vacuum pads must be resting on a smooth, non-porous surface in order to test switch settings. Vacuum switches are always located under an enclosure cover. Cover types and locations vary depending on the lifter model. To access the vacuum switches, you must remove the cover. Always disconnect the battery prior to opening or removing a cover. Remove the fasteners and carefully remove the cover to avoid disturbing any hoses or wires connected to it. Once the cover is removed, reconnect the battery and turn the lifter on to activate the vacuum switches. If the lifter starts up in the attach mode, release it and leave it in power save mode so that the pump is not running. Each vacuum switch has 3 buttons: a set button, an upward arrow button, and a downward arrow button. When the lifter ships from the factory, the digital switches have been locked so that the settings cannot be changed accidentally. The factory settings for these switches can be obtained by consulting your instruction manual or by contacting Wood's Powr-Grip. To unlock the settings, hold the set button for 5 seconds until LOC appears on the display. Then press either arrow to unlock the switch, and UNL will appear on the display. Press the set button once to return to a numerical readout. The vacuum settings, N1, N2, N3, and N4 are the only settings that should require adjustment. Press the set button one time and the display will alternate between the N1 designation and the corresponding numerical setting. Press the upward or downward arrow buttons as necessary to raise or lower the setting respectively. Press the set button a second time and the display will now alternate between the N2 designation and the corresponding numerical setting. Use the arrow buttons again to adjust the setting as necessary. Press the set button a third time and the display will now alternate between the N3 designation and the corresponding numerical setting. Use the arrow buttons again to adjust the setting as necessary. Press the set button a fourth time and the display will now alternate between the N4 designation and the corresponding numerical setting. Use the arrow buttons again to adjust the setting as necessary. Press the set button once again and the display will return to the numerical readout. Hold the set button for 5 seconds until UNL appears on the display. Press either arrow button to lock the switch again and LOC will appear on the display. Press the set button once and a number at or near 0 will appear on the display. The switch is now set and locked.